initiate chaos theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness, not only another. It's full steam ahead, full steam ahead. All about the Betty Express, misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey guys, buckle in because this is going to be a longer video. I will probably maybe do some wardrobe changes or at least light changes, getting this done as I can. But I did want to give you guys an update. I do want to cover the Dentist of Death trial. I know we still have Lori Vallow in all her Loriness, and that might have to wait till I can do some night streams and do some Lori Vallow night streams. Because this is a current trial, I do want to try to get on it. Sorry for the general squirreliness of my nature. I blame the ADHD and, well, everything else. That being said, this is the dentist that I have covered on Mornings with Mo. He is accused of poisoning his wife with poison in her morning like smoothies, protein shakes. So he could go off and be with his orthodontist girlfriend. Now, this does look like the state has a lot. It is a 52-page affidavit, so let's buckle in and get going and hope that Mo can read. So this was filed in the District Court, Arapahoe County, Colorado. It was filed March 20th, 2023, 8:30 a.m. People of the state of Colorado, to all peace officers in the state, greetings. A complaint in writing under oath has been made, and it appears that there are reasonable grounds for believing between March 6, 2023 through March 15th, 2023 at his home in the city of Aurora, James Tolliver, all of his vital stuff, and this goofy-ass picture, did commit a crime of first-degree murder after deliberation, as the crime is defined by CRS 18-3-102, subsection A, subsection 1, respectively, as further set forth in the complaint attached hitherto and made part thereof. So this is the probable cause warrant for arrest. So this is what the police, gave to a judge to say, hey, we need a warrant. We want to get this man in. I, Detective Bobby Olson of lawful age and being first sworn upon oath, state that I have probable cause for believing that defendant James Tolliver Craig, all of his vitals, did commit the crimes of first-degree murder after deliberation, class F1. Your affiant, Bobby Olson, is a police detective with the City of Aurora Police Department and has been employed since July 2013. Your affiant has previously been a licensed peace officer in Minnesota from 2004 to 2013. Your affiant has authorized numerous search warrants and arrest warrants while participating in both individual and organized crime-related investigation. Additionally, your affiant has conducted and supervised hundreds of investigations in both overt and covert capacity. Your affiant is currently assigned as a detective with the Aurora Police Department Major Crime Homicide Unit. Your affiant is responsible for investigating significant incidences of violence, crimes, focusing on homicides, attempted homicides, and officer-related shootings. Your affiant has conducted numerous investigations in this capacity and routinely utilizes search warrants for residents, vehicles, cellular call data, social media accounts, etc., as an investigative tool when appropriate. So basically what all of this is going to is, I'm a good officer, you can trust me. So this is going through, I have the experience, I have the training, I can do all of this. Please, that kind of thing. So very interesting. As a detective, your affiant is authorized to carry firearms, execute warrants, make arrests for offenses against the state of Colorado, as well as perform other duties as authorized by both state and federal law. Your affiant has completed thousands of hours of training over her career, beginning with Basic Police Academy. In addition, your affiant has received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She's not pursuing it from the Metropolitan State University. The facts are based on personal knowledge and/or interviews with witnesses and fellow officers or review of official law enforcement reports. Now, on March 15th, 2023, at approximately 11:03 a.m., the victim, Angela Craig, presented herself to University Hospital because she had a severe headache and was experiencing dizziness. Now, Angela was accompanied by her brother, Mark Prey. I'm not going to read his stuff, and later by her husband, James Craig. Now, at approximately 2 p.m., Angela experienced a seizure and began to rapidly decline medically. She was eventually placed on life support in the intensive care unit. Now, hospital medical personnel did not find a known medical condition that would have caused Angela's rapid medical decline. Your affiant was told that James was a dentist who worked at a dental group. James was business partners with Ryan Redfern, also a dentist. Now, Ryan and his wife, Michelle Redfern, is friends with James and Angela, or they were friends with them. Now, on March 15th, 2023, James communicated with Michelle via a text message from his cell phone and informed Michelle that Angela had been admitted to University Hospital and her condition was grave. Now, Michelle called Ryan and they both responded to University Hospital. So these are the business partner and his wife. At the hospital, Ryan spoke with one of the attending nurses regarding his suspicion that Angela was possibly a victim of poisoning. Now, Ryan explained to the nurse that James had recently ordered potassium cyanide for their dental practice and that there are no medical reasons or purposes to order potassium cyanide for a dental practice. Now, as a mandatory reporter, the nurse called the police and an investigation ensued. Now, a mandatory reporter is someone who is bound by law or statute that when certain things come up, like say child grossness or someone hurting a child or an elderly person or, a vulnerable person, they are by law required to start an investigation, tell someone, or take it to the police. So that's kind of what that is. Now, the Major Crime Homicide Unit was contacted and took over the investigation. On March 16th, 2023, in the early morning hours, your affiant spoke with both Ryan and Michelle Redfern at Aurora Police Department headquarters, where they volunteered to talk with the affiant. Now, Ryan began by saying he and James had been business partners since August of 2022, when Ryan acquired James's dental practice, which had been struggling financially. Now, Ryan stated that although he recently took over James' dental practice, they had known each other for 20 years and went to dental school together. Now, Ryan described James as a risk taker and also found out that he had filed for bankruptcy in 2021 and was on the brink of bankruptcy yet again. He also stated in January that James confided in Ryan, telling him that he and Angela were having marital problems. On March 15th, 2023, Office Manager Jacqueline Cauldron contacted Ryan via phone as he was driving to University Hospital to be with James. Now, Jacqueline told Ryan that she was contacted by another office manager, Caitlin Romero of Sunnybrook Dental Group, where James and Ryan worked. So this is their dental group. Now, Caitlin told Jacqueline that on March 6, 2023, the day Angela first became sick and went to Parker Adventist, she was working late at the dental office. Caitlin said James returned to the office after hours. Now, Caitlin observed James in an exam room computer with the lights off doing something on the computer, which was odd because he had his own office, his own computer, and personal laptop that he regularly took to and from the office. Now, Caitlin said it was approximately 30 minutes after James had left the dental office that he texted Caitlin telling her he would be receiving a personal package and for her not to open it. Now, Caitlin stated that the package arrived for James on Monday, March 13th, 2023. Caitlin found that the box had been opened, and she found out that another employee, Katie Van Horn, had opened the package. Forgetting that James was getting a package, she looked inside, and inside she saw a biohazard sticker that said potassium cyanide on a circular canister. And Caitlin realized that the cyanide was for James and sealed up the package and gave it back to James. So she didn't want, Katie to get in trouble. She's like, I'm just going to retape this. It'll be fine. Now, Caitlin said she later Googled what potassium cyanide was used for and saw that Angela had the same symptoms. Caitlin called Jacqueline when she heard that Angela was back in the hospital on March 15th and told her about the contents of the package. Now, Ryan and Michelle arrived at University Hospital in separate vehicles but entered the hospital together. Now, upon arriving, they spoke briefly to James, but he had received a phone call from a doctor, so he stepped away. Now, while James was on the phone, the nurse came out to speak with them. And Ryan stated while James was on the phone, he pulled a nurse away and told the nurse about his concerns that Angela might have been poisoned with potassium cyanide. Now, while at the hospital, Ryan observed James meeting with doctors about Angela's prognosis, and Ryan observed James crying after the meeting. Ryan and Michelle then left the hospital and returned to Michelle's vehicle. Now, while in Michelle's vehicle, Ryan received a call from James's personal cell phone. Ryan's phone connected to Michelle's vehicle Bluetooth so Michelle could hear the conversation. And James told Ryan he had heard some disturbing information, then asked Ryan if he had said anything to hospital staff. Now, Ryan admitted that he had talked to hospital staff about this incident, and Ryan advised that he was aware that the package James had ordered of the potassium cyanide. Now, James replied that the package was a ring for Angela and he wanted to surprise her. Yes, because, every kiss begins with cyanide. That's Kay Jeweler's new thing. Like, her kiss is poison and they put it in a poison thing and then it's, red ruby lips that you get to wear. Honestly, Kay, get with me. We could make a killing. That being said, true crime jewelry, I would wear the hell out of that. Now, James claimed that, or Ryan countered by telling James that he knew it wasn't a ring. James claimed that the package had never been opened, so Ryan couldn't know what was in it. And Ryan advised that the package was most definitely opened and it didn't contain a ring. Now, Ryan asked James why he would buy potassium cyanide, and James eventually recanted and admitted that the package contained potassium cyanide, but claimed that Angela had asked him to order it. It's not a good way to go. I mean, Angela suffered greatly, so I doubt this would be a way to go if you say we're planning to knowingly take that step. Y'all know it's a euphemism. I'm not going to do it. Now, Angela couldn't order potassium cyanide because she didn't have proper credentials. Now, James told Ryan that he ordered the potassium cyanide, but he didn't think she would actually take it, meaning Angela. So he's already trying to get this kind of notion that Angela was going to shuffle off the mortal coil using potassium cyanide. James described it as similar to being a game of chicken, and at that point, Ryan told James to stop talking and get a lawyer. Now, your affiant and Detective Graw then interviewed Michelle, who provided similar accounts of events as her husband. Michelle told your affiant that Angela first became sick around March 6, 2023. She had gone to Parker Adventist Hospital and was released the same day. Now, Angela reported that she was dizzy and weak. Michelle said Angela fell ill again and returned to Parker Adventist Hospital on March 9, 2023. She was admitted on March 9, 2023 and released March 14, 2023. Now, medical personnel were unable to determine what was causing Angela to have her symptoms. Michelle stated on the next day, March 15th, at approximately 11 a.m., Angela was brought to the University Hospital by her brother Mark. Now, Michelle added that she had exchanged text with James since Angela was admitted to Parker Adventist on March 9th, 2023, trying to keep up to date with Angela's medical condition. Michelle stated she was a professor and had a PhD in nursing, so she asked James to keep her updated on Angela's symptoms and to potentially maybe help say, oh, well, this sounds like this. She's not a diagnostician. She is, look, I have been to a gajillion and 12 nurse practitioners who have been just as competent and just as nice as and knowledgeable as doctors. But there is a sort of, you have to be a nurse practitioner in order to do diagnosing or anything like that. So there is somewhat of a hierarchy. But offering her assistance to maybe, hey, have they checked this? Have they checked this? That's a generous offer, especially when, let's say, let's suspend our disbelief for just 2 seconds and pretend that Angela was really sick and there was no cyanide. This would be a great thing. And oh my gosh, could you not put all the numbers out? So these text messages, and she did send screenshots. Your affiant reviewed the messages. The blue boxes outlined are Michelle's statement, and the white boxes outline James's response in reference to Angela's medical conditions. So the first one is from Michelle. Hey, which hospital is Angie at? Do you need anything? Parker Adventist, thanks for offering, but no, but for now I think we've got more support than we can handle. Gotta love the church. Have they done any diagnosis yet? I'm so sorry, we're praying. No diagnosis, thank you. Any news? Nothing yet. They just admitted her to the hospital for overnight observation. Good, I'm praying for you. I mean, I'm glad she's being admitted. Yeah, LOL, or LOL, yeah. I figured that's what you meant. How did Ange do overnight? Low blood pressure all night, vomiting in the morning. Still trying to figure this out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tell her we love her and we're praying. I sure will. Thank you. Just checking to see how Ange is doing. Have they made any headway today? How are you doing? And do you need anything? Thanks, Michelle. It's been pretty rough not having answers, and I get pretty anxious. They did do many tests, so they've done about 4 or 5 blood draws. Regular blood panels are coming back okay. She's negative for autoimmune disorders, negative for diabetes. The main issue they're concerned about right now is the low blood pressure. They've dumped over 5 liters into her IV over 24 hours, and she looks super puffy and swollen, but her blood pressure is barely 100 over 60. That is very, very low. Yesterday morning, it was at 56 over 44. So the main concern that the doctors have is my main concern of just how she's feeling. Really pretty crappy. They're going to keep her one more night, and hopefully she can come home tomorrow sometimes. And just the absolute calculated cruelty of knowing exactly what's happening to your wife and giving everyone this runaround like, and we don't know. It means I feel bad for her. I mean, what if we must find a cure? And he knows what it is. Allegedly. We haven't figured it out. How did her kidneys handle that kind of fluid? I'm pretty sure she's miserable and has had to be so frightening for everyone. Her BUN, urea nitrogen, was 29 yesterday. It's back down in the normal range of 21. They think she was dehydrated. Her kidneys seem to be doing all okay so far, though it might be adrenal insufficiency, but they tested for that too, and so far just no answers. Well, low BP could cause her to be lethargic and slur her speech. I'm glad she doesn't have those disease processes, but any answer would help ease anxiety and, form a plan. Not knowing is terrifying, in my opinion. What about a scan for, to check for a tumor, thyroid, adrenal? I'm sure everyone's thinking about every pathophysiological process that affects blood pressure. Now, they did do an MRI on her head because of brain tumors in the family. They also did an ultrasound of her heart and a head CT. They did a chest and abdominal CT, and everything has come back negative so far. So I guess that's good. No tumor is a good thing, right? Yes, that's a good thing. I'm glad they ruled it out, especially with family history. It's just hard to imagine she was so dehydrated to cause low blood pressure, sorry. I'm sure she is pretty puffy with 5 liters of fluid on board, and I'm sure her kidneys are working double time to process it. I'm glad her A1C levels were, normal, and the kidneys are working, she is having I could have sworn she was having diabetic ketoacidosis, but I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't have checked a blood sugar at the ER. I will continue to pray for answers. I know you have amazing support, but please let us know if you can do anything to help. So again, this is the wife of his business partner who is a PhD in nursing. They did check blood sugar on on the very first ER visit. She was 195 and she was throwing glucose in her urine. Now that was Monday, and they were almost sure that it was diabetes, but when we went back again to check it yesterday, her blood sugar was lower but still high at like 145, but there was no glucose in her urine at all. Then her A1C came back at 5.5, so it's still a mystery. So an A1C is an average of the last 90 or so days. If this is a new glucose problem, it wouldn't necessarily show in her A1C. Yeah, that's a good point, but no glucose in her urine today, so there's that. But has she been eating much since Monday? Let's see, very little, but not much. Today, the only thing she's had is one cracker, and she threw that up. Yesterday, the only thing she had was a protein shake in the morning, which she threw up, and some chicken noodle soup for dinner, which she also threw up. So I see the point you're making. There may not be any sugar to throw into the urine. That's what I'm thinking. However, her IV would have sugars in it. 5D-LR with or without K, or are they running NS? Now, I don't know what any of that means. I'm pretty sure like they're different saline bags or drips that you can put up, but I'm not a doctorologist or a nurseologist. So for my medical people, if you could put down what that means in the comments, that would be great. Now, LR without K, which also surprised me because her potassium and something else, some electrolyte, but I can't remember now, were both low yesterday, or both low today. They've given her potassium supplements orally, and the first one she was able to take, the second one she got sick on. She's also on tramadol for her headaches, and they have her on 8 milligrams of Zofran every 4 hours, I think. The next dose is due in about an hour and a half. Although most of this morning, her, violent getting sick episodes have happened about 5 minutes after they gave her IV Zofran, which is so weird. 5L is a lot to run with 5D, so LR makes sense. It is strange to be giving it in an IV. It should work perfectly. I'm glad they've ruled out a brain tumor. The vomiting and antiemetic headaches would point that way. Now, if her K stays low and she continues to vomit, I would expect that they would add K to her IV. If it wasn't my wife, this would kind of be a pun puzzle to try to work out. Truth. I'm surprised they haven't. Well, all we need is a low K to move her to electrical issues with her heart on top of everything that she's dealing with. Again, this man allegedly knew exactly what was wrong with his wife and is playing this, I don't know, I'm totally stumped. But allegedly he knows exactly what's going on. This is the evil, this is the craven, just blatant evil that he is displaying. What about a blood culture to rule out an infectious process? Her white blood count and leukocytes were all normal. I know they're smarter than me. I'm just working through all of the things in my mind. They haven't done a culture, but her white blood cells and leukocytes were normal. Oh, see, her reactive protein is super high though, like 20. I think the high end of normal is 2.99, so there's an inflammatory process somewhere. Well, that's huge and says something's going on. And his heart ultrasound was normal, except they were unable to accurately measure the pulmonary pressure due to insufficient tricuspid valve regurgitation envelope. Again, those things probably mean something. Interesting assessment. So she's having tricuspid regurgitation to the point that her PA pressure can't be measured. Is that what this means? I could be wrong, but that's how I read it. Tricuspid regurgitation means that the tricuspid valve leaks and the blood is able to go back into the right atrium. And I think that would affect pulmonary artery pressure. Tricuspid regurgitation is usually associated with high PA pressure. In reading that, I think that an insufficient TVR envelope suggests pulmonary hypertension, which is the opposite of what I first thought. Now, from my nephew who has or was an internist, Symptoms of pulmonary hypertension involve breathing issues such as shortness of breath. She hasn't been experiencing that, and not being able to accurately measure pulm pressure doesn't really matter much at this point. Good to know. With such a low blood pressure, it may throw off the ability to get a good reading. Now, this is Saturday. Any news? Doc is going to do imaging of her gallbladder and some other internal organs to see how they look. It's pretty much the same, though. When I talk to her, she seems like she's in a ton of pain and super, super tired. And of course, all the tests are coming back perfect. Well, we know we haven't found the cause yet, and we'll keep praying for answers for your family and Angie. Any update on Ange? Not really. No answer. She's on full oxygen time, or oxygen full time now. This must be so frustrating for everyone. I'm so sorry. Is she home or still admitted? Admitted. Whatever you need, we're here. Thanks, Michelle. She's at Hospital University, so maybe another set of eyes on this case will help. I think Ryan is trying to get a hold of you. Yeah, I just talked to him. I'm glad she's there, and I pray that they can find answers because there is something clearly wrong. Is she conscious? No. How are you holding up? I know that's a dumb question. How are the kids? She's not laughing at any of my jokes either, and so you know that's really bad. That's distressing because you're funny. Looking. Honestly, I haven't really told the kids now how bad it is. Don't really have any information to tell them, and I don't want to scare them needlessly. The kids are at the zoo with their friends, and the other kids know that she went back to the hospital, but they're just doing school stuff. That's smart. I'm scared, Jim. Is that bad to say? Not at all. I am too. And then a little meme about a clownfish. That's for laughing at the joke part. It's weird not being able to wake her. I'm sure it's frightening. And then James texted these two pictures to Michelle, so his partner's wife. Crash intubated 55/44 pulse, 150 SO2 or SPO2, 84. Doctor says she should be mentally responsive by now, but she's not. And doctor said she's very, very worried. Used word tenuous. Any progress? That's a lot of people, and that's never good. You probably have more people that you can deal with, but I will come and just sit with you. My brother-in-law is here, but if you want to come, you can. I will. University Hospital on Kovacs, like Children's. Yes, ED room 5. Ryan and I are coming. Now, the text messages noting Friday was March 10th, 2023, and the text message noting yesterday was on March 15th. Now, Michelle contacted the detective on March 15th, 2023 at approximately 9 a.m. Michelle stated James called Ryan, however, he did not answer. Then Ryan, so his business partner, received the following text messages from James. Good morning, Ryan. Thank you for taking my patient load today. I want to make an urgent plea to you. If we were ever friends, please do this favor to me. Please don't talk to anyone about what we talked about last night, including any law enforcement officers. Oh yeah, sir, these are all things that the officers can pull. So if you're gonna crime, don't do a text freaking First and New Testament about it. You are under no obligation to answer their questions unless you are served a subpoena, and you will do more damage than good to my family by continuing to insert yourself into this. Angela is gone, and I'm devastated. There is nothing that can bring her back, and I desperately want to tell you all of the details so you can better understand what's going on behind the scenes with her. But there is so much that you don't know that I wish you did. If you knew everything, this would make so much sense to you, but there's no use telling you right now. You and I have a history of you and the other partners and Jackie all talking about me behind my back and deciding that you think, or what you think is best, and then you're always the fall guy that has to pull the trigger or tell me what you've all decided about me. In fact, yesterday you didn't even come to me. I had to seek you out. You never gave me the advantage of talking with me first. You just decided and then act, and I hope I'll pick up the pieces later. This is a pattern in our business dealings and has now become a factor in our personal dealings. Let me paint a picture for you of what this has done. Yesterday, I had to tell my kids that their mom wasn't going to wake up and they were going to say their final goodbyes. the audacity that must have been on clearance for this man to allegedly have been the person to do this to his wife and then have his moral, big boy pants on, like, do you know that my wife passed away and I had to tell the kids? You knew potassium cyanide, man. So the kids got up to say goodbye at that time. Because of your investigation you opened by your incomplete information, the hospital made these poor, grieving, hysterical kids wait until 9 or after 10 to see their mom. After an hour or so of saying goodbye to her, we went home just before midnight, only to have our house sealed against us by the police. Instead of getting to go home and find comfort, they were met with flashing lights and cold, unfeeling cops. The kids were scared and confused and had to go to sleep at the home of a ward member. So this is an LDS thing again. Now the family is starting to come in today, and I have to tell them they can't come to my house, and I have to try to explain why. I've had to hire a homicide attorney to make sure I don't end up being painted in a light that I know some hungry DA is anxious to paint me in, because I am most likely going to be charged, even though that is not what happened. Absolutely not what happened. Now, Ryan, I understand why you did what you did. I do. I get it. But if you come to me personally, man to man, instead of talking to everyone else about what you thought you knew, I might have been able to let you in on some details that would have made it less likely to cause this horrible storm. Man, Ryan, if you had only put me higher on your list of priorities than putting everyone else's opinions on gossips ahead of me. Well, isn't this man a Sarah Boone victim? I'm gonna go get him some gopher wood and a cross and he can just nail himself up to it because he's a martyr. For that, I am very, very mad at you. I've talked to you about this multiple times, but you don't seem to care. And now what you thought was responsible has become reckless and so destructive. So I'm asking you, if there's ever any love in your heart for me, please don't make this any worse by talking to officers or anyone else on this case, unless you are legally forced to, and whoever else is on the team you think is going to be questioned. I would ask that you privately ask them to honor this request too. Also, please do not respond to this text message until I text you again. Oh, I'd be responding with the memes of heller and hell no of Medea. I'd be like, make yourself a victim one more again. Now, Aurora Police Department Major Homicide Detective Chamberlain responded to University Hospital on March 16th at approximately 12:30 a.m. to speak with attending hospital staff. Now, Detective Chamberlain learned that when Angela had arrived at University Hospital at approximately 11 a.m., she was kind of okay. She was, dizzy, sick. But by 2 p.m., Angela was suffering from a serious seizure, and doctors struggled to intubate her. She suffered from a lack of oxygen, no pupil reactions, and began to have increased intracranial pressure, which caused decreased perfusion pressure, and was sent to the intensive care unit. Detective Chamberlain learned that Angela was still on life support but had no brain activity, and her prognosis was poor, that she might not even make it through the evening. Now, Caitlin was contacted and asked if she would respond to the Aurora Police Department to speak with detectives. In summary, Caitlin said that she'd been the office manager for the detective's office for approximately 6 months and had worked for James at Summerbrook Dental. Although Ryan is also a dentist, he does not work at that dental clinic but is a partner in the business. Now, Caitlin knew on March 6, 2023, that James and his wife Angela worked out in the morning. Now, before the workout, James gave Angela a protein shake or pre-workout shake, in which James gave her extra protein because she was feeling sluggish. Now, after the workout, Angela became faint, dizzy, and ultimately James took Angela to the hospital. Now, Caitlin also started to notice some odd or strange things around the office during this time. On March 6th, toward the end of the day, she found James in the dentist office in a back medical area, which she would refer to as exam room 9. Now, she thought this was strange because James had a computer in his office and his wife had just been discharged from the hospital. Now, Caitlin confirmed it was not uncommon for James to use the computer in the exam room, specifically number 9, because his own computer in the office or laptop he took home with him, I don't know, didn't have Candy Crush. And I'm going to pause this real quick. So she did confirm that it was normal for him to use this computer in this particular exam room, even though he had not only his personal computer in his office, but also a personal business laptop that he would take with him to and from home. Now, Caitlin left a short time later, and James remained in the office. Now, approximately 30 minutes later, James sent a text message saying he would have a personal package coming to the office and to have her let him know when it came. Now, during this time frame, Angela became ill and was taken to the hospital where she was constantly throwing up. It was unclear what her diagnosis was, and James had said that Angela's blood pressure was low. Now, during Angela's time in the hospital, James had conversations with Caitlin where he told her he didn't think his wife was, quote, going to make it, end quote. In the same conversation, James asked about business in the office, and Caitlin found it strange that James was concerned about his dental practice when his wife was in a dire medical condition. Now, I will say that I am the type that I will focus on anything other than the grief slash feelings that I am supposedly supposed to be dealing with. So that doesn't strike me as super duper off color. Now, again, the going into the exam room, which we'll later find out that's he was contacting his mistress, and other things like getting a package of damn cyanide are super de-duper sus. Now, on March 13th, 2023, Caitlin said one of the office attendants accidentally opened a package that came into the office. Now, the package was directly addressed to James, and she knew this to be the personal package that James had been talking about. Now, the attendant had already opened the package, and Caitlin took the box from the office attendant, which she attempted to put in James' office. Now, as she repackaged the box, she noted a packing slip that read potassium cyanide. Now, Caitlin described the package as a foil square with no other markings on it, and she said that the package had a biohazard or warning, but she couldn't remember what it was. She had resealed the box and hand-delivered the package to James. Now, Caitlin later saw James walking down the hall to the office with a cylindrical-shaped canister wrapped in brown paper or construction paper with a metal lid. Now, Caitlin was unsure whether this was the cylindrical canister, but stated in the 6 months she had been at the dental office, she had never seen a similar canister. Caitlin had never seen potassium cyanide delivered to the office and was unsure what it was for, so she performed a Google search. Gotta love Dr. Google. In her search, Caitlin noted the side effects of ingesting potassium cyanide and matched some of the symptoms that Angela had been exhibiting over the last week, including nausea, vomiting, and low blood pressure. Now, Caitlin said James told her when Angela was discharged on March 14th, 2023, and she made accusations that James had poisoned her. Angela said something to James along the line of, quote, where there are poisons they don't test for, end quote. Now, Caitlin heard from James that Angela was sent home on oxygen and they didn't know what was wrong with her. Now, on March 15th, 2023, Caitlin learned that Angela was back in the hospital with the same symptoms. Caitlin said at one point she called her manager Jacqueline, who also thought James might be responsible for Angela's sickness. Now, Caitlin then shared the information about finding the potassium cyanide invoice. Caitlin stated she knew that James and Angela were having marital problems because James had recently mentioned he told Angela he wanted a divorce. Now, Caitlin said James had been distant from time to time at work and would leave sometimes at lunch because he and Angela were having fights. Caitlin said she hadn't seen any packages since the date, or that package particular, since she gave it to James and said the trash was collected by the trash company daily. On March 16, 2023, Detective Moreno was contacted by CPS caseworker Sydney Romero, who had met with several members of the Craig family, James Craig, and his children individually. And in her conversation with James, she believed James was making some concerning statements. Namely, James was alleging that Angela wanted to take her own life and had wanted to do this for a long time. Now, this is according to James. Obviously, he's getting a trial, so no one bought that, okay? Or at least not many. Now, James claimed that he personally had to revive Angela on several occasions over the last few months. James had said he asked Angela for a divorce in December of 2022, and since that time, her depression and ideations had increased. Now, James believed that Angela was intentionally overdosing on some unknown substance. Now, James never reported any of these incidents, never sought out medical attention for Angela, both during or after these alleged attempts, or never sought out professional counseling/therapy for Angela's depression or ideations. Now, James told Sydney that he was sure that Angela's toxicology would come back positive for substances, but he didn't know what kind. Now, Sydney felt compelled to report the following statements because none of Angela's children mentioned that their mother was depressed or that, she had made previous attempts. Now, Sydney believed it was improbable that this type of event, an overdose or an attempt, would happen with no one inside the house except James being aware. Now, Sydney provided her opinion that James was attempting to build a cover story about what really happened to Angela. On March 16, 2023, Detective Moreno communicated with a friend of the Craig family, Jennifer Reeves. Now, Jennifer informed Detective Moreno that James was currently at her residence and intended to spend the night with his children while he was waiting for his two oldest children to come in from out of town. Now, on March 16, 2023, Detective Moreno submitted 3 search warrant application and affidavits to the 18th Judicial District Courts. One for James and Angela's home, one for Summerbrook Dental Office, and one for Jennifer's address, at her address. Now, Detective Moreno was sworn in by Magistrate Richard Ferrero, who signed and issued all 3 search warrants. Now, on March 16, 2023, at approximately 8:30 a.m., Aurora Police Department Detective Graw and your affiant responded to, where James was staying and spoke to him. Now, James stated he didn't wish to talk about his wife's current medical status. Now, he was provided a signed copy of the search warrant requesting his cellular phone, Angela's cellular phone, his wallet, and his laptop. James handed your affiant, Angela's cell phone and provided the CAS code. He then handed his cell phone, a light blue iPhone 14, and provided the passcode. Now, James said that the laptop he regularly used was at his dental office. He provided, them with the laptop's password. He said he didn't carry a wallet but kept his credit cards and IDs in his phone case. And she took pictures of all the cards and his Colorado driver's license and gave them back to James. Now, on March 16th, 2023, at approximately 8:45 a.m., the affiant, along with Major Crimes Homicide Detective, responded to, I believe, their home and executed the search warrant. Now, upon clearing the residence to ensure no one was inside, your affiant noted that the house was affixed with both internal and external surveillance cameras. After the resident was cleared, Aurora Police Department Detective Moreno completed an amended search warrant to include the seizure and search of any external or internal surveillance equipment and recorded surveillance footage. Now, that search warrant was signed by 18th Judicial District Magistrate Heidi Kutcher. Now, during the search of the residence, multiple items believed to have information or evidence related to the incident were noted. Items collected from the residence included multiple types of protein powders, multiple workout-style shakers used to consume these protein drinks or shakes, a computer tablet, 2 different Ziploc-style bags that both had white powdery substance in them, neither of which were labeled, a water bottle located on an exercise bike in the main bedroom area. While executing a search of the residence, we could not locate a hard drive or device that would obviously maintain all of the surveillance data. There was a security system affixed to the wall that could play video, exterior only, but it was not something that would have been easily unplugged to seize. It is believed that surveillance information would most likely be maintained on devices such as a iPad, tablet, computer, or a cloud-based system. Now, on March 16th, 2023, at approximately 11:45 a.m., they went to, dental, which was closed. So the dental office was closed. Upon entry into the business, multiple cameras were affixed to office walls and were observed. The offices were clean and orderly. The information previously provided was that James had been in dental room 9, where he was on the computer there in the dark. Now, your affiant viewed the dental room and found it to be an open-style dental room, allowing for someone to see if a person were at a computer. Each room has individual lights, though when not illuminated with overhead lights, the rooms are dark. well, Sherlock here. Now, each exam room was identified with a silver metal style number on hallway walls next to the entrance of the room. Exam room 9 was found to be at the far end of the clinic's dead end hallway. Your affiant collected a hard drive that was hooked up and connected to the monitor at exam room 9. And how it was dual and, Dell Optiplex, and it had a Logitech USB. No idea what any of that means. Now, your affiant located an office in the clinic's southeast corner containing 2 office desks. On the far south desk, a laptop was observed. When the laptop screen was woken, it showed the last login person was James. The password provided by the laptop was entered to ensure that the laptop was him. The password activated the laptop and opened it. No further investigation into the laptop's content was conducted. Now, it was a Dell Precision and all that jazzy jazz. They do the serial numbers so that they know that this is the correct digital item. Now, Aurora Police Department detectives located a small hand vacuum in the office with 3 additional desks and computers. The vacuum did have a white powdery substance inside of it, and a portion of the substance was collected and seized. That was Detective Harris that did that. Now, he also located James' DEA number, so the United States Drug Enforcement Registration number. Your affiant knows that a DEA number is assigned to healthcare providers, allowing them to write prescriptions. Your affiant accessed Angela's cell phone text messages and found several between her and James. Your affiant found that Angela and James' text messages were comparable to other couples texting about their day, the children's day, and their activities. Your affiant found that Angela had James in her phone as the boy with a picture of the 2 of them, and confirmed that the phone number matched the picture of Ryan and Michelle that, confirmed was his. So they saw his goofy ass picture and they were like, hey, partner and partner's wife, this is his goofy ass. And they're like, yes, that's his goofy ass. Now, while reading through text messages on March 1st, 2023, your affiant found that Angela and James were discussing their relationship, mainly James' healing and counseling. Your affiant noted the following text exchange. Now, Angela's are in blue and James are in white. Your healing and happiness, this marriage, is more important, than my day. You're more important than my day. So James is responding back. Thank you. I know you're getting ready to go out and spend some time with Tony. I would like to ask that you keep last night's conversation details just between you and I. I trust Tony, but it's hard for me to even tell you that stuff, and I'm definitely not ready for anyone else to hear it. Of course, I wasn't planning on talking about any of it. I haven't actually talked to Tori about any of the last few months since that initial conversation. I'm sorry, I know she's kind of your outlet and your strength and support, and someone who you can always go to vent. I hate taking away even a part of that, since I know this is a really, really hard topic for you, and I don't want you to. So it's going to go on. Your affiant noted that James and Angela's text messages beginning on the morning of March 6, 2023, the first day she began to experience this unexplained illness. So again, I think Angela's going to be in the blue and he's going to be in the white. Thank you so much for making my drink this morning. I just love you. I hope you have a great day, and I'm so glad you're back in town. You're welcome, my baby. I love you too. I think my body is not letting the caffeine this morning either. My stomach feels fine, but my head feels funny and dizzy. Very strange. It's been a week since caffeine for you. Maybe your body is saying no thank you. I did a full scoop of caffeine, a full big scoop of B vitamins. Is that how much you take normally? I'm super shaky. Oh no, I only do a very small scoop of the B vitamin mix. It really feels weird. Oops, I'm sorry, babe. That's okay, it'll wear off. I'm dizzy and my eyes don't want to focus, but I can, get stuff done that I need to this morning. Maybe you should lie down. I'm laying on my face on the mat in my room. You have a bed, I'm stinky and it seems a bit excessive for a little extra supplement. Pearl is flying in this morning to see me. I totally forgot. I think she's flying out today too, though. I don't feel right in my head. Do you need me to come home? No, this is just weird. I'm dizzy in my head and my eyes are working slowly and my body is responding slowly. That sounds really wrong. I'm going to come home. I don't like this. You can't. You need to work. I'll throw on some clothes and sit with the girls and see if it goes away. Okay, I'm probably where I'm acting like I don't like that. I can cancel patients for the morning and move some to Dr. P if you needed to go. So if you change your mind, let me know. Do you have a blood pressure cuff? Maybe we could try to see if your BP is low or something. Did you get lightheaded when you stand up? It feels more like when I take heavy meds and everything adjusts and moves slowly, like I'm moving in thick gel. My eyes are struggling to stay focused. Did you take your BP? I don't know where one is. Okay, if you do end up wanting me to come home, I'll bring one. I have a bottle of magnesium in my second drawer down on the left side of the sink. Take one of those. Have you eaten anything? I had my protein shake and magnesium makes me feel weird. I'm not hungry. Are you nauseous? No. I feel drugged. Well, given your history, I know that must be triggering. And just for the record, I didn't, drug you, which is what, most crazy homicidal husbands would say. You really look pale before I left, like even your lips. Update? I was plugging your symptoms into Google and stroke matches some of what you're describing. Do you have weakness on your whole body or just one side? Is it both eyes or just one that feels blurry? It feels like my whole body and it's tingly. My eyes are struggling to focus. Are you still laying down? I got in my bed. Okay, good. My whole body feels so heavy. Something is really wrong. I'm coming home with a blood pressure cuff. If nothing else, I can at least help, the girls stay on track while you rest. So he is increasingly like, you need to go to the hospital, you need to do this. And she's doing the, mom woman thing most of us do, which is I will struggle on, give me 5 minutes, and I'll put my big girl panties on and go be a mom because you just don't have time to be sick. Please come get the dogs. Sorry, I also want to shower, but I'm worried. Okay, I'll come and help. I'm all done and heading home. How are you feeling? Same. Bailey's making or one of their kids was making a grilled cheese. Well, thanks to her, I'm all done and heading home now. I would like another blessing tonight if there's someone who could help. Okay, I'm sure we can find someone. You don't have to miss work today. We don't have anywhere to go today, and the girls and I will be fine. I'm starting to think I'm just sick, and this is part of it. I'm going to try my popcorn and Dr. Walker this morning, and we'll see what we can do. I'm not sure your popcorn will do much, but you're welcome to try it. PCP, I may just have, someone take me to urgent care this morning. I should have had you do that yesterday. The ER is useless. I'm sorry. No, you're fine. It did help us rule out a lot of the other scarier things, so I'm glad we did it. I'm kind of wondering if I maybe had a sinus infection and I didn't really notice because I'm used to them and it turned into an inner ear infection, and that's why I suddenly, it all came on. Well, let's hope. How are you feeling since compared to yesterday? Are you up and moving around? Same. Geez. I'm not sure what you're expecting. I don't think this is a sleep thing. I don't know either. I was hoping that maybe the worst of it was behind us and you were going to start feeling better over time, I guess. Did the ER give you any paperwork yesterday? Okay. Only the discharge paperwork on the island. I didn't have any of your blood pressure results on your MRI interpretation or the CT interpretation or even the glucose numbers. Since you're out and about, I think you really should go over there and see if you can get a copy. He's wanting to make sure that these tests, he has access to them so he can, come up with a cover story if things start popping up. They're supposed to give us info on the patient portal so we can access it ourselves. Okay, I didn't get any of that. Sorry, the patient portal discussion must have been something happening before I got back, kind of like between your MRI and being discharged. That's okay. I'll take care of it. I don't want to tell you, but I feel like you would be upset. I don't know. I may have passed out a little bit this morning while standing in the kitchen. I just remember holding onto the island because I was dizzy, and then one of the kids in my face saying, Mommy. She has 6 kids. Thank you for telling me, but it would have been good for you to call 911. I just waited for one of our daughters. It felt weird because my eyes seemed to be focusing better today. Well, I guess that's good. I woke up with a headache and spits in my eye. Spots went away. Okay, spots, not spits, spots. The spots went away, but the headache is still there. I'm sorry, babe. That sounds awful. Again, if this man was poisoning her and then going through and being the lovely husband, the kind of disgruntled, why aren't you taking care of yourself husband, it is so incredibly evil. That being said, this might be a two-parter, so I can get some other things done. We still have an incredible amount to go through. So I think that this will be part one. And after I finish these text messages, which looks like there is just a butt ton, we will go ahead and call this part one, because holy fazolies is this a bunch. All right. Well, that's good, I guess. And then, so sorry, babe, that sounds awful. Your family is out of control, but hilarious. I'm aware of both of those things. BS was only 95 or 97 today. Wow, that's weird. A1C. Not doing urine test here. They recommend I go back to the ER, but my A1C was normal yesterday, right? Isn't that what ketones are? Never mind, she told me that they don't have the capacity to do that test, but my PCP should. I'm tired. How did your talk go? I need a new, PCP or primary care provider. It went fine. He says this sounds like diabetes to him. He said when your sugars are high, the lenses in your eyes expand and make it hard to focus. You can get mental confusion and become really tired and weak. He said it would explain the audio disturbances that you have, too. He's really disappointed that the ER let you go without at least giving you some insulin. And he said we need to find you a primary care provider, call them, and say that you're a new diabetic and need to be seen sooner rather than later. He was hoping somebody could get you in as early as today or tomorrow. My doctor can get me in Thursday or Friday, but not before that. And I don't want to be a new diabetic, so I would really rather not say those words and tell, this guy to stick it. What should I do? Well, let's plan on Thursday or Friday. I went ahead and scheduled it for 3 o'clock on Friday because that way I would have a ride. Do you think I should change it to Thursday? My head is killing me and I'm so tired. Making these decisions is really hard. I think you should do it on Thursday, and I'm sorry your head hurts so bad. I can't drive and no one's here to take me. I can find you a ride. What time would you like to get an appointment for? I'll call back and find a ride and someone to watch the kids. I may be able to help on that with that depending on what time. Actually, Dr. P is out Thursday, so I maybe just stick to Friday. Too late, I changed it. On top of all this, I'm pretty sure I have a sinus infection. That would be great. Sorry, meant to say that. On it. Now, the PA at urgent care called in a prescription for some kind of medication that's supposed to help with dizziness. I guess we could pick it up, but I wonder if it helps with dizziness caused by high blood pressure. I don't know how any of that works. I love you. It was so nice hanging out with you and just watching a show and snuggling. I'm sorry that you weren't feeling well and that you feel like I'm disappointed about that. I'm not disappointed at all. Just feeling empathy for how hard this must be for you. Hopefully things can improve and get better. I'm so grateful for the last couple days that have allowed me to have more flexibility in my schedule. God really does know what he's doing. Are you feeling anything particular for dinner this, tonight or this week? I'm having a hard time feeling okay being sick, and even harder time knowing whether that's me or you. I could tell that you were worried yesterday, but I guess I just think they sent us home and said nothing was wrong with you and that I should be fine. I realize I could be reliving the past and it's just hard, but frankly, all of this is really scary and I don't feel like we've addressed all that, but I don't even remember much of yesterday, so maybe we did address it. I'm a crazy person. I'm not feeling anything particular about food right now. Oh, good. So someone is sending them dinner. What she's sending and when will it arrive? Panera at 6:30. Okay, I'm on my way. Will you please let me know when you're up? I'm nervous about you and the littles, today. I'm thinking about being up. Someone is coming in for something later that day, and then someone else, maybe one of their kids, is wanting to play online with her friends, drinking my drink, sitting on the couch with my ice pack and two anxious dogs. No blurred vision, no dizziness or anything, mostly just headaches. I guess that's an improvement over the last few days. It's possible the headache will go away and I'll feel okay today, so yes, and my sinuses are cleared out and draining. I can breathe again, but it is making everything taste gross. Well, I'm sorry about that, but it's also sounding like good news. It's okay, it'll go away. I just wanted to update you, and I'm hoping you don't worry today. Did you remember to feed the dog this morning her frozen food? Thanks, she's being nosy and I think she wants her snack. And another thing, my nose hurts. Maybe next time I'm delirious and have an IV wrap, you could remove it for me before I punch myself in the nose. I would really appreciate that. I'll make a mental note of that. How are you today? So busy. I'm planning to come home, though, and eat lunch with you. Am I eating lunch? I'll need to gear up for that. I'm glad to get to see you. I'm glad too. I need to ask what you're hungry for and bring it to you. I'm kind of feeling like just a smoothie or something. I'm not feeling anything. Don't bring anything. I'll eat something here. How's your headache? It's better, but it still hurts. Probably just need a shower and some food and some sleep. I hate your bird today. She won't be quiet. Shower, sleep, and food sounds good. And sorry about my family. I just wish I could get my watch to stop sending me notifications every time they text. It can be so annoying to turn off the notifications for that chat and my phone, but my watch doesn't listen. It's tapping me and tapping me and tapping me all day long, and I'm trying to work with patience. Maybe try this. It doesn't, I know it doesn't solve the problem, but it will shut it off for now. Thanks, I'll try that. Hey babe, love your face. What you doing? Good, just waiting for someone. I'm trying to share my vital stats with you so you can see everything, and even if I'm asleep, but my head hurts and the BP one is making it worse. The BP? Should I need a separate blood pressure app? I think. I'm not sure. Is, one of their daughters home? She just got home. Are you okay? I'm just checking in on you. Again, how are you doing? You're scary. Sorry, babe, I fell asleep on the couch, then I woke up and now I'm hungry. I waited an entire minute, Ange. And so, thank you for checking on me. I love you. I love you too. I like checking in on you. How you doing? And it looks like he sent a link. Even though I called ahead and said they had what I needed, I showed up today and they didn't have it. I'm so frustrated. I'm heading back to the office to do some research to see if I can find another place in town that has glassware like this. I'm going to trust that you're just sleeping and not dead somewhere. Again, that's something that no one would say with a sick spouse. Again, if he was that worried, there are other children at home, or he could say, hey, I'm not getting a response from my wife. She's been very ill. Call the doctor, call someone, call the police for a wellness check. You don't say, like, I'm hoping you're not dead. It's just weird. I finished up what I needed to do at work and I just left the office. I'm going to stop by King Scoopers on the way home and grab a couple of ingredients to make dinner tonight. Okay, I'm all done with the groceries and I'm heading home for dinner. How are you doing? I'm super tired, but I left my phone on my lap, so I hope I feel it if you text. Okay, thank you. I've decided that me owning a water bottle just means that I come in every morning and look at it on my desk. That's not the purpose of a water bottle. Are you nauseous? I'm reading up on low blood pressure. Not today, just cold, super weak, tired, and shaky and dizzy. Super thirsty? I've been drinking stuff this morning, so who knows? Blurred vision? No. Having a hard time concentrating this morning? No. Sorry, just sleepy. That's okay, you don't have to say sorry. How are you doing now? Well, I had someone bring over a glucometer to borrow. I was at 179. I'll check it again soon. I'm feeling about like I did when you left. Okay, so high sugar. Yes. Did she leave the glucometer? Yes. Have you eaten anything this morning, baby? Ange, are you there? Hi, sleeping. Whew. I ate my protein fables and some crackers. I'm down to 140, but feeling pretty crappy. Well, sorry you're feeling crappy. I hope we figure this out. How are you doing? Man, baby, you've got to stop scaring me like this. I love you so much, and I'm not used to all this excitement. Okay. Promise you cardio. I'm in room 212. Someone just texted about dinner tomorrow, and my head is killing me. Can you please respond to them? He's on it. The nurse think I need more than Tylenol for my head, so the doctor gave me tramadol. That's good. Where'd you go? Did you ever, respond to that other text? Yes, why? Just making sure. Did she ever say anything about it? No, she never responded. And then they're talking about their kids for a little bit. Yeah, they texted it this week and it didn't cross my mind. My question for you is if we're measuring my vitals to see what's affecting them and what's not, wouldn't giving me oxygen when my stats go down mess that up? It absolutely would. I'm telling you, I've almost lost all my faith in that hospital. I'm going to ask a nurse that just came on shift if they're checking my urine and glucose. Have you been able to ask any questions yet? Are you doing okay? Yes, I fell asleep and she hasn't come back in. I'm feeling a lot less anxiety knowing that you're hooked up to monitors, and if I can get a hold of you, it's not because you're dead. Again, things I wouldn't say. There was a link in my IV line and it's beeping forever and no one has come in. Are they monitoring this? Let's see, just a sec. My vitals are blood sugar 134, BP 78 over 55. The doctor down in the ER had no idea what she was talking about. They're going to be here every 4 hours to monitor my blood sugar and blood pressure. The blood sugar part I should have expected. The only thing this machine I am hooked up to is doing is monitoring my heart rate and oxygen saturation. Well, I'm glad they're watching it. I'm glad you're glad. I'm exhausted sitting here feeling like crying because I do not know how I'm going to get any sleep. I'm sorry and I hate that. Also, don't be mad at their leaders. We gave permission for, their kids to get picked up and, something happened there. Let's see. Bishop stopped by. Apparently someone, something. So this is all Mormonology. I'm not going to cover that. Barb wants to bring over dinner tonight. Someone else is already bringing over dinner, but if she'd like to do it tomorrow night, that would be great. Can you text Barb? Have you done your orthostatic vitals yet? Wow, standing cardiovascular workout for you. So it looks like supine was 107 over 67, heart rate 109, standing 95 over 60, 109 heart rate, no, sitting, sorry, and standing was 107 over 65 with 120 as the heart rate. So her heart is working really hard and there is something very wrong because it's not getting the pressure that it needs. Wow, standing is a cardiovascular workout for you. You're in zone 3 right there. My head hurts so bad. I'm sorry, have they given you anything for it? I'm going to lay down for about an hour in case you're trying to reach me. Just took tramadol. Is your headache any better? Are there any orthodontists? We are heading to the orthodontist. A tiny bit, but not really. I'm sorry, have any other tests come back? Also, have the doctors said if you're going home today or not? Everything was negative or normal. They just did a heart ultrasound. She said she could send me home or keep me and watch my BP. One sec. I just tried to reach you, but it went to voicemail. I hope that means you're getting rest finally. Plan to, bring the girls by. We're not going to stay super long. But, we just wanted to see you, that kind of thing. I'm working on my stretching right now in the hopes that my head will feel better. They just gave me a bunch of meds for my headache and heartburn. I do like seeing you guys, but you're right. When my head hurts this hard and having a lot of people here makes a lot of noise. I love having you here. I just don't want to wear you out trying to take care of me and everything at home. I'm fine. It's really busy and crazy, but it's always the case when you're not around. I want to be there with you 24/7. I love you and miss you. I'm so worried. I wish you were healthy enough to come home tonight and snuggle with me. But thank you for saying so I can feel like you're being cared for by professionals. Please bring deodorant. I love you. I'm excited to have you home again. I'm feeling a bit down, a bit like I'm drowning, but I'm doing my best. You're doing super great. My BP was just 145 or 73. I can't win. Oh my gosh, I'm going to head over and hang out with you for about an hour. So if you're okay with that, I'm feel like I'm falling asleep and then they come back home and do exactly that, but I want to see you again. I love the idea. So how are you feeling? My nausea is back and my head doesn't hurt as much. We'll take what we can get. If you haven't left yet, please don't forget to bring me a t-shirt. The long sleeves are making my vitals a little rough. I already left, but I also remembered the t-shirt. Thank you for coming back. I miss you so much and it's nice to have some time. I love you. You're welcome. I wish I could stay longer, but I'm glad you seem to be doing better. I hope you're able to keep down some water or Crystal Light. Just woke up dreaming about you. I love you. I want you. Good morning. How are you feeling? Bring a couple pairs just in case. So it must have been some clothes. Okay, I forgot to ask you how your blood pressure's been. Please let me know when the doctor comes in. She's coming right now. I wonder if we should request a cardiologist or a nephrologist, so that would be a kidney doctor, for consultation. Good night, Nana's nurse. Okay. because I do have a stream to get to, we are going to stop right here with this. This is going to be a multi-part, go through, because this is like 52 pages long. But he's hella grody, isn't he? I mean, let's just suspend our, total grasp on reality. We have a man who got cyanide sent to him with the stealthy, I guess, bulwark against, being found, being, it's my personal package and don't open it. Again, he only told one person in the office. She opens it, sees a canister of potassium cyanide. She tells the partners. The partners are like, do what now? And he's like, no, she done it to herself. So again, the fact that he's carrying on an affair, he wants to be with another woman, he is already drowning in debt, so he is not going to be able to afford the child support, the spousal support that is probably going to be commensurate if he does get a divorce from his wife right now, from Angela. So there are all these motivating factors that I hope we get in through the trial, but this is definitely part one. I will be working on part two probably this evening. But this is just, again, the rank callousness and callowness of, if he did know exactly what was wrong with her, to pretend to be a loving husband, to, I love you, I miss you, I'm so scared, I thought you were, passed away. And he knows exactly what's going on with her and is just waiting for her death, wants to control all the doctor's paperwork so he can make sure that things aren't being detected. At least that's my speculation on this. But I do have to go do Mornings with Mo fairly soon, and I want to be ready for that and on top of it. So this is part one. Be waiting for part two. I, jumped into this thinking I can talk for 52 pages in an hour, but I can't. So thank you guys so much. This will be what the Petty Express is covering if it is streamed. If not, we will get through this affidavit, because I do want to do more of these affidavits for you. I have Jedi Jess, both Baker and I are going to be covering this one affidavit from a woman who I am ashamed is in my state. It is god awful, worse than the human teddy bear. So there you guys go. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because someone might order potassium daggone cyanide for Flip Flapjack's sake. And it's another freaking Flapjack Mormon. Like, y'all, LDS, I don't know when you're having like your yearly conference or whatever secret meeting y'all have, but could you maybe talk about the general criminality of some of your members? Because every single trial I've covered here lately has an LDS sort of slant. So I don't know if you need a review of the 10 Commandments with everyone, but thou shalt not murder is somewhere in them 10. Bye, you guys.